This strategy involves drawing the trend lines, creating the support and resistance level, and identifying the support and resistance level. So don't miss it and watch it till the end. Hey all everyone, welcome to this channel, Ranjit this side. So in this video we will understand what is a trend line. We will try to identify the trend lines on the TradingView website. Then we will manually draw the trend lines on the chart, which is very crucial for the strategy. Then we will go through what are the different types of trend line breaks available. Now it's really important to understand, learn how to mark the exit and entry and the exit points in the chart. Then the most important aspect, which is the risk management, we will go through that as well. And finally, we will write the Python code to implement the overall strategy of trend line break. Right? So let's get started. Now let's first understand what is the trend line break strategy. So whenever there is a trend going on in the market, and then when we see there is a break, let's say if the stock is going very steadily on the upward level, and then if we see there is a break in that trend line, then that's where we take the trade, because we know that where the market will go, or where this trend will go, and that's where we take the entry point. Now let's understand what is a trend line. So let's say when you connect multiple closed price and open price on the chart, and when there is a series of those prices, and then we can see that there's a trend, let it be the upward trend or the downward trend, and when we connect all those points, which basically represents your support level or the resistance level. So that is what the trend line is. Now there are two types of trend lines. One is the upward trend line and then the downward trend line. In the upward trend line, you connect higher lows in an upward trend, and then in the downward trend, we connect the lower highs. Now let me show you the upward trend, right? So let me show you it in this. Let me take it on the weekly level, and then if I go somewhere over here, I must have drawn something. So, okay, even though if it is not drawn, I will show you. Now see, here you can see the higher lows, right? It goes up, and then again it goes down, and then it goes up, it goes down. So this is a trend. So this is the upward trend. And how do we point? So this is how you connect the higher lows. And then this is how you draw the upward trend. And then let me check if we have a lower trend. Yeah, this is the lower trend. So we have lower lows, right? So, and then we will connect this one, and then we will connect this one, right? I'll come on to this very on the detail level, but this is how the lower lows look. Now there is one more, which is a sideways trend. So I saw this one over here. So this is a sideways trend, right? See, this is your sideways trend. Okay, great. So basically with the sideways trend, the market is not, it's not sure where the trend will go. So it could go from high from here, or it can go down from here. So with the sideways trend, we never take the trade, right? We always look for the upward trend or the downward trend, right? Now what we did, we took a weekly chart, right? Now let's understand how the trends are drawn in a detailed way, right? So let me just erase it, and we will go on to the daily time frame. From that's where we need to understand how it is done, or you can even go on the weekly or monthly level, but let me show you first how it is done on the daily level, and then maybe we can go on to the weekly and then monthly, right? So how do we draw the trend line? So first thing is, you need to go through the overall chart of understanding how the market looks like. So here, as we can see, there is a trend. But now see, you are not sure if it is a real trend or not. So for that, what you can do, you can go on to the higher time frame. So with the higher time frame, you can be more assured that the chart is actually very much in the trend, or let's say the stock is in very much trend. So for that, let me show you the monthly as well first. So this is your monthly time frame, and here if you see the trend is more specific, or let's say more clear. Now if you go back to the weekly trend, I would say it's really good when it comes to, let's say, investment purpose, right? So now how do we draw the trend? So drawing a trend means we are basically trying to find the support and the resistance level, and support and resistance level is really important. The reason being, we know the market, where the market will go. So if the stock or the price breaks the resistance or the support, we can be assured of whether it will go upward or the downward, right? So how do we draw the trend? Now let's take it see if you see over here, the price of this particular stock is getting rejected every time. So let me just draw and then I will come on to this, right? See, you can even select the wick or even let's say the closing price, right? It's totally up to you how you want to do it. Now let me zoom in a bit more. Now this is your resistance level, right? So let me select it. I don't know. Okay, this is your support level, this is again your support level, and this is your support level. Now this is your resistance, and resistance. Now why do we call it a support and the resistance level? The reason being, what we understand with the closing price, that the price will not go down below this price or below this level, right? So it's basically kind of a support that the chart is trying to give, or let's say the stock is trying to give the information. So and then the same goes with the resistance level. So what the price is basically telling us that above this point the price will not go, right? So this is your the support and resistance level. Now what happens to the break lines? Okay, we'll come on to that later on. Now what we can do, let's draw one more. So this was your sideways, right? Now let's draw one upper trend like I shown you earlier. So this is your upper trend, right? And this one is again your upper trend. Like I said, it's totally up to you if you want to take the wick or the closing price. It's totally up to you. How do you want to do that? Now some people used to ask, how do I know that whether it's a upward or downward trend, or how do I even draw the trend line? See, you have to practice it. You have to practice like on multiple charts. When you start to see the pattern, or when you start to practice more and more, you will start to see more and more patterns in the chart, and that's how the thing starts. Now there are many types of patterns in the market, so it's like somewhere around 56 or 60 patterns are there minimum, which are being used very frequently by the traders. Now again we have a resistance over here, resistance, support, right? Let me show you one more, the one which we drawn earlier. So this is your this could be your support and resistance. Let me draw this and draw this. But now if you see even though it was higher lows, but the market fell down, right? So you cannot be assured of what will be the market in the trending in the trend line, right? So you have, I will show you why this stock fell down. I will come on to that because there is a reason for that. Right, now let's find one falling trend. Okay, so we have one falling trend as well. So this one was the one that we saw earlier, I think, right? Yeah, and then we have this one. Okay, good. Let me minimize it so that we can see all three types of trends that we found. Right, we have downward trend, we have upward trend, and then sideways. Right, so now let's try to understand how the trend line breaks first of all. Right, so let me come to the downward trend first. Even if there was a downtrend, the market went up after breaking the line, or let's say the trend. Why did that happen? Right, so that's the first question. Now if you see, this was a resistance. So continuously the market tried to pull this stock down, but at the end, after reaching over here, the market went up. Why? Because if you see over here, there is a high volume, not a pretty much big high, but as compared to the other days or other weeks price or the volume was high over here, and that's where the thing started to work out. So basically there is a big candle, and then there was another candle which was continued with a small red candle, but then from there the market went up. Now this small red candle is really crucial when it comes to, let's say, the confirmation of the trend. The reason being, let me try to open now why the market went up even after there is a continuous downtrend. Right, so first of all, the red candle that I mentioned earlier, so let me just try to change the color of this. Okay, so this red candle is basically, it gives you the confirmation that the market or this particular stock will go up. The reason being, it was basically confirming. So why is it so? Because now suppose there is this trend line going in, right? Now here, when it came like this one, it went up, but then it went down, and then it went up. So the market will never just directly will go up. It has to give you a confirmation. So this is where this small confirmation candle came in. So this is the confirmation candle that the market will move on to the upper level, higher level. Now there is one more confirmation, is basically this one. So the volume, you always need to make sure that whenever there is bigger candle like this one which is breaking out from the resistance level, this has a higher volume. If this doesn't have the higher volume, do not go for the trade, because it could be operated by some operators, or let's say the money making institutions, right? Okay, great. So like I said, just to make, just to draw, so this is your resistance, this is your resistance, this is your resistance, and this is your resistance, oh sorry, this is your support, this is your support, this is your support, and this is your support. So when all these points are connected together, so that's how we create a trend, right? So this is a support or resistance level, right? Okay, let's go back. Now let's take this uptrend, right? Let me change the color. Now we have a resistance over here, we have resistance, we have resistance, we have support, support, and support, and then this was supposed to be support, but then yeah, I will come on to that. Now this is a trend of higher lows, right? Or sorry, higher lows. Now what is happening over here, this was supposed to go up, right? But it went down. So basically, see, if you see, even though it tried to break this trend line, but the volume was very low, right? And this is the reason it didn't go up. But then it tried to go up again, but the market pulled it back, right? But then if you see, why did it fall down? So this is the candle which broke the trend line, and if you see over here, so this was the volume as well. So basically, since the volume was high and there was a big candle which broke the trend line, so that's the reason it fell down. But then if you see, after a couple of weeks, I think probably almost a year, I don't know, maybe almost half a year, the market fell, huge fall. I will not say it's because of this, it tried to reverse and then fell down, because this is a weekly time frame, and then this cannot be because of this one, but it did try to reverse. It did succeed to some extent, but then at the end it fell, right? So this is how you connect the uptrend. Now let's go back to the downtrend. Now let's go back to our chart. Now I will not go very deep now, because the video has already been like half an hour or more than half an hour. So now again we can see, okay, let me just take the screenshot of this one, because I could see there is a big trend happening here, or trend is being created over here for this stock, right? So what is happening over here? So we have sideways trend, right? So it will not go anywhere. But then if you see, I mean, I cannot say this is a trend reversal or trend break, because there is no volume over here. So I will not consider it a trend break. But yeah, I mean, this was, but then it again fell down, and then it went up, and then when it went up, then there is a high volume over here. So basically you can consider this as a trend break. Now this was a sideways, right? And then this is your uptrend. Now for the uptrend, so this is your resistance, this is your resistance, this is again your resistance, this is your support, support, and support. Now what is happening over here, what I can see right now as per the market, the stock will fall, it will again come like this, right? And I don't know, maybe in the future it will go. So what I'm trying to tell you is, always follow the trend. So when we draw this, the upper trend, and then when we extend this line, so this will basically give us more information that, where could this stock could go, right? And if the volume supports us, then we can surely take the trade. Now again, like I said, the volume is really important. Some people used to take volume, some people used to take RSI, some people used to take CD, so it's totally up to you. But do not only go with the trend line, you can even go with the moving average structure, right? Let me just try to take the moving average on this chart and see if it is actually exponential moving average. I want it to be, it's still in the uptrend. It did try to fall, but it's still above the trend, so it's okay. Let me change it and make it to 50. It's still in the uptrend, right? Now let's talk about the entry and exit point. Like I mentioned earlier, you can, so in the coming days, if there is a reversal over here, you can surely take. So if there is a reversal over here, do not go with the, let's say, the entry. But what you can do over here, I can see a trend coming from here, right? So this could be your stop loss if you want to go for, let's say, short call, right? and then or wait for the market to reach somewhere over here, and then you can buy it over here if the volume is high, right? So probably it can just again go up, or just wait for it to break somewhere over here. So it will come like this and then it will go like this, right? So let me just clear it and maybe eraser. Okay, so what I was saying is basically, see, if it is coming down, so it will come down with a big candle over here, right? And then it will again retest it and then it will come here. So this is somewhere, this is over here, somewhere over here you can buy it, and then you can wait for the, or yeah, I mean you can buy over here or you can do the stop loss over here. Now some people used to do the trading stop loss. So trading stop loss is basically people use to take out some profit, on the regular basis, so that if there is a reversal of market or the, let's say, the trend, then they do not acquire or they do not take a loss or a big loss, right? What is it after that? Now let's talk about the risk management. Do not force yourself to take the trade, or do not force yourself to mark the support and resistance. If there is no support or resistance, do not force yourself to mark it. The reason being it could lead to a loss, right? And the second thing is always look for the risk to reward ratio. So if you are risking 1 rupee, then the reward should be, or let's say the profit should be 2 rupees, right? So always look for the risk and reward. And sometimes even the stop loss, you can keep the stop loss as, let's say, 2%. If it is a investment purpose, let's say you can take up to 10% of loss, right? I mean, it's totally up to you how much you can digest the loss, but normally that's how it is. 2% is a common one if it is a day trading, or let's say the intraday trading, but swing trading you can go up to 10%, because that's how the market volatility works. After that, yeah, one of the other important point is buy or sell the stocks which has a good volume, which has a good liquidity, because if you buy any stock which is being operated by the operator, you could get into trouble. I mean, you can lock your whole amount or the investment part. So make sure that you always invest in good volume stocks. And in stock market, we always used to say, invest your money, let's say, put your money in the stock market which you don't need, right? So if your money is like really important for your day-to-day life, don't invest in the stock market, because that's a big risky market, let's say the investment option. So if you don't need that money, and if you have no plans to use that money, then only you invest in the stock market. Otherwise, maybe you can buy a house or let's say some other types of investment, but not in the stock market. This is not for you then. Now let's go back to the Python code to implement this strategy. Okay, let's work on the Python code for the trendline trading strategy. So first let's import couple of libraries. So import pandas as PD, then we need to import yfinance as yf, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. I think we also need numpy as np. So why do we give the alias name? Is just to make sure that we don't call these libraries with the full name. Okay, now after that let's import the data. So let's say df is equal to yfinance.download, and then we'll say the ticker name is tech.ns. I'll give the start time as, let's say, 2024 0101 and is equal to 2024 0701. Let's see if we have the data. So for that I'll just write this one. Okay, so we have the data. I'll just download data from yfinance. So we have the data. Now just to make sure that our close column is numeric, what we will do, df close is equal to pd.numeric to numeric. This is a close column that we have. I'll just write it, even though it will be a numeric column, but make sure the close column is numeric. And then let's plot this. So let's plot this data. So we have figure, which is the figure size. We are plotting the close, and then Tech Mahindra close price will be the title, X label is date, Y label is close price, and then show. So this is how the graph will look like. So if you see over here, in the last couple of months we have downtrend and then we have uptrend, then there was a sideways as well, but let's see. Now let's draw the trend lines. So for that, let me write it down. So we have again, to draw the trend line, so we have the figure and then the close price, which is labeled as close price. Then we have index, so we are taking the close price. This is the previous price, and then so we will color it red and then label as trend line. So we will have this one. So this is the trend. If you have taken like lesser amount of data, then it would have connected not from the like beginning to end, but probably somewhere over here. So for an example, let's say if you want it to be 1st of May, let's try that. So let's say 5. So it will give us somewhere, let's see. So this is the trend line that we have, but I was running this code earlier and then it was not giving us a good, let's say, trend line and all. So anyways, now let's calculate the rolling maximum. So we have rolling max as close price. The rolling window we have mentioned it as 20. So let's do that. Let's also print couple of starting the prices. So we have no. So and then we have from 20 days we have the rolling window data on close price. Now let's identify the breakpoints. So we are saying that whenever there is a breakout, so this will be the data. When I was running this was not giving me a correct data type. So what I did, I made it as a float. So now this will be a float data type. Let's also see the data. So now it will be a float. So yeah, you will see it in the coming code. So let's run this as well, trend line. So then wherever there is 1, so there is a breakout. So it could be like positive or negative. And then we are calculating the high and lows of the data, and then what we are saying. Now let's calculate the entry and exit point. So for the entry point, wherever there is a close price which is greater than the high from the previous high, and then that will be entry point, and then exit point will be, or exit condition will be, whenever there is a close price which is less than the previous low, that will be our exit. So this is also done. Now let's graph it. So this is how the buy and sell signal will look like. So wherever you see the green triangle, it will be a buy signal, but unfortunately it did not show it over here. Probably it did not match the trend line, the break point. So that's the reason it did not show it us over here. But yeah, a couple of times it did show. Of course, I mean, you can correct the code, or you can modify the code which can actually work for you in a better way. But this was a very basic code that I wrote. But I think it did give you kind of signals when to buy and when to sell, and then when you go very deeper into this, then you will understand how the code needs to be written. But yeah, that's all I think. So guys, this is how you create, this is how you work with the trend line break strategy, and hope you like this video. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe. If you want the code, or if you want the Python code, please you can visit my website. I will share the link in the description. And if you have any kind of doubt or any questions, please feel free to ask it on the comment section. Till then, take care, goodbye, have a great day, eat healthy and drink plenty of water. Thank you so much. Bye.